my molding aside, let's go over the fights. I have them all uploaded to YouTube. Now, first clears, rain or shine. So, P9S. We choked on P9. We were shit at limit cut. Wait, fuck. Let me get rid of that. Sorry. We kind of choked this fight a bit. But we did it in 46 pulls. Yeah, we were just incapable of limit cut, I guess. I don't know. You know, let's just talk about, first of all, how many limit cut mechanics there are in this fucking tier. There are 4! 4! Why? What is this hard-on for number mechanics, man? Jesus Christ. Counting P10? Yeah, it's got numbers in it. Limit cut. But, you know, it is what it is. Anyway, P9S, pretty standard fight, honestly. It was, as I expected, just a lot of elements and stuff. But I think what they did with it was somewhat creative. I found it semi-enjoyable. Now, obviously, like, my week 1 opinions are going to be different from, like, my week 8 opinions, right? I noticed that my opinion about Abizos just declined heavily the longer it was out. I can't remember exactly what I said about it, but I remember that my opinion was not so fond the later it got. But anyway, you know, I found this fight to be pretty okay. Very rudimentary mechanics in the form of elements. Nothing too wildly creative. But it's a first turn, right? Like, who cares? First turns are always like this. I think P5 was more creative than this. But this was more creative than P1. But yeah, like, we took a bit longer on this fight than we wanted to. We had it all figured out fairly fast. It's just executing it. Stand in one spot for a whole 2 minutes before anything happens, and then you wait for limit cut. The thing is with early floors in a tier is that they tend to be quite tutorial-ish. I think as a first floor, this did fine. I think it was okay. I think it was... I don't know. There was a lot of damage for a first floor, actually. But yeah, you're right in that, you know, nothing really happens in the first 2 minutes. Like, we're at 2 minute window now. And, like, what's happened apart from nothing? How many times we get griefed by Seika's internet? A few. Uncharacteristic amount of group wipes in early fights. I think that's good, though. Because it's not like they were that difficult. It was just punishing. But this is the trade-off. This is the trade-off you have for fat hitboxes, never losing uptime, and easier job design. There has to be a trade-off to keep difficulty, right? Like, there has to be. And this is that trade-off, I think. I think that's fine. Now, again, it's not good for PF, but get fucking good. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm sure my opinion will change when I'm wiping in PF on alts. And like, we don't re-clear till next Friday, chat. So like, I'm gonna be doing a lot of alt stuff next week. So I'm gonna be seeing a lot of what PF has to offer. But I think this fight's okay. I think it did a lot of cool things with the rudimentary element shit, which I usually find very boring. Now, of course, I always think that they limit creativity with hitboxes this small. The boss never fucking moves from the middle. That is very boring to me. I don't like that. I find it extremely just cop out, you know? Like, boss teleports middle. But he's already middle. Because you never move it. Yeah, some of you PFers probably have more gear than me. Alright. So, the mechanic of the fight. Here's how we did it. I want you to tell me what strat this resembles that PF uses. Out of like the 7 I've heard of. I want you to watch. This is what we figured out. Which we were very bad at, by the way. So that's Oppo strat, is it? I like this strat. I think it's very simple. Now, we didn't realize for a long time that the fire was proximity. We didn't know. So we were wondering why sometimes we were dying and sometimes we weren't. It took us a while to realize that. But good fight, man. It was an interesting, like, twist, I think. You know, we weren't really expecting a mechanic like this in Savage on a first floor. I certainly wasn't. I thought this fight was going to be a fucking breeze. But it kind of isn't. And you can wipe there over and over. It doesn't matter how low you have the boss. You will wipe there. Oh, is it called Oppo? I have no idea. Opposite? Maybe? Yeah, probably. When I think of Oppo, I think of the monk stance. So, yeah. But once you get past that, it's kind of GG almost. Honestly. It's literally the Devour of Anabaseios. It was Hector that named it Oppo. Oh, of course. Oh, right. Yeah, of course. That guy was like releasing a guide for this before he'd even got there, man. The guy just doesn't learn. Stop. P10 guide out now? Like, for fuck's sake, dude. I had it out with him in the balance the other day. Because I was mad. So this took us a couple pulls, but again, not too difficult. I was always expecting Charybdis to be like a 1 HP thing. He made a disclaimer, thank God. He's finally learning. He's getting flamed a lot. Yeah, well, it was kind of a long time coming, honestly. Like, when you... look, chat. Again, like, I don't hate the guy. When I spoke to him, he's clearly, like, a nice guy. He's clearly reasonable. And he understands, you know. I've always said this. Like, I never hated him. I just don't like his kind of MO around guide making. He takes the path of least resistance rather than, like, weighing up the options, you know. I just think it's generally poor form to release guides before you've done it yourself. But the fact he's putting disclaimers and stuff is very good. Like that's a lot better. That at least tells people, wait, this might not be good. Or there will be better in the future. You know, he's come under a lot of scrutiny lately, but I think guide makers need to be. Otherwise, they just get away with a lot of dumb shit. I'm sorry, like, I'm not gonna relent. As someone who does a lot of PF outside of, like, static stuff, like, you need to be aware of the influence that you have on the player base. As an established guide maker that people go to, you have to get your shit right. Like, that's just how it is. Otherwise, we end up with another fucking Elmo strat. Or Ilya strat. No thank you. Anyway. Spiel over. Moving on. I don't know. I'm gonna say it straight up. At least for now, I like P9S. Penis. I like it. I think it's okay. Is it better than P1? Yes. Is it better than P5? I'll get back to you on that. I don't know. I'm not sure if it's better than P5. Because this is less original. Like, the whole, like, reflect stuff in P5 was a cool concept. Yeah, you fight cock and penis. Yes, exactly. Perfect. I'm gonna make so many jokes in PF, and you're gonna get so tired of it. You know, like they use this ruby weapon mechanic. I was really bad at spotting this, by the way. I found it quite difficult to see.
Inside.
Like, you know. I thought it was okay. Not watching you do Savage PF? Alright. Bye-bye then. I'm not gonna sit here waiting for Ultimate PF when there's new content to do. Like, it's just not happening. I've got alts to do this on every week as well.
Stay afterwards. Stay.
You know, I do feel like this tier isn't gonna last long for people. I think people are gonna get very bored of Savage very quickly. There seemed to be, overall, a lot less hype around this tier. I think people are very tired of the game right now. Maybe that's just me. I'm not sure. But I do feel like people... I think the player base is going to fall off a cliff very soon. The difficulty is causing that? I don't think so. I think this is just the usual week 1 molding. Once strats settle in like a week or two, I think it will be better. People need to realize it's still week 1. Things are still being figured out. This is always how it is in week 1. Everyone just wants to prog. And everyone's expecting like PF and shit to be insanely good. And yes, okay, some people are good. But then they find each other and make like a pseudo-static. You know? But with other games like D4, like FF16 coming out, and this being the last tier with no ultimate, blah blah. Although I'll be honest, I'm glad there is no ultimate. I don't want to prog anymore, man. Like Criterion, okay, but like I don't want to prog anything else. No, man. I'm fucking tired. I am tired. Yeah, I think people do expect too much for week 1 PF as well. Like, it's PF. You know what PF is like. Most of you have done PF enough to know. It's gonna be bad. But you will get there. Just try and relax and have fun. This is a life you choose in some cases. Some people don't have a choice, but... Because, you know, they have like a life and shit, but, you know. Could you explain PF to me? Sure thing, man. So, it turns out these numbers are baitable. Is that true? I heard this yesterday. I feel like this mechanic was unnecessary. This mechanic felt a bit out of place. I don't know why we needed another fucking limit cut. But... You know, it is what it is. It's pretty fast. It keeps up time.
At 3%
Anyway, you know, I don't know how close to Enrage were we. I have no idea. But it fell over pretty fast, as you would expect, you know.
Oh, I think we do. Yeah, no, there's one more thing.
It's an actual limit cut, kind of, yeah. Yeah, 170 pulls deep for P9S and decided to quit. Yeah, I mean, like, PF is just a very roller coaster experience. Like, sometimes, you know, we were relieved to kill this.
No,
it wasn't my burst.
Listen, if we say send your LB.
I decided to cut off Seika telling people off for not LB. So anyway, decent first floor, very rudimentary. I think P9S is okay, for now. This will be a running theme this tier. This tier is mechanically much harder than Abyssos and Aspho. Both of them. Mechanically way harder. And I think it's a good thing overall. I'm just going to get this out the way right now. I'll talk more about it later. But for now, I will just say, I am glad they chose a more mechanically intense direction over trying to do DPS checks. Now, I 100% see the argument that, like, a last floor should have a tougher DPS check. It's a last floor. I understand that. However, they clearly did not want to have another Abyssos incident. Job balance might be a bit better now, but now I see why they didn't buff Red Mage. Because you can res through and clear. In some cases. Again, I'll get there. Wait till we get here. They are clearly aware of the problems they've created. They cannot design DPS checks right now. So they chose not to. And I think that was a very deliberate decision. So, if you are mechanically consistent and you can coordinate, you will do great. If you can't, you will wipe until you quit. And there's a lot of damage this tier as well. They put emphasis on everything that wasn't damage. Play the fight and you win. All of them. And I think this was an okay decision. You know, I saw someone on Twitter today talk about how they're disappointed in a lack of a DPS check for a final floor. And I agree. I see it. I do see it. I understand that. But they also have to remember how bad Square Enix are at designing DPS checks right now. Due to the problems of variance and like job balance. Which is not as bad now, but it was really bad. I will talk more about this after watching P12, but yes, there is more focus on mechanics rather than DPS. Alright. P10. We cleared this in 35 pulls. We cleared this fully blind in like on like world prog pace. We cleared this really fast. Now, you can hate P10 all you want, chat, because PF sucks at it. And that is an unfortunate reality when a fight is really good. Yeah, I said it. An unfortunate side effect of fights being good is that PF usually sucks at them. This might be one of the best floors they've designed this entire expansion. Did we encounter the caloric theory bug? No. We encountered another bug though. I'll get to it. This might be one of the best fights they've designed this entire expansion. I cannot believe I am saying that about a wall boss. But I said that I think they could do a lot with this fight when we did normal. And they did good here. Alright, let's ignore my professional streaming. Where I forgot to take this off of my stream.
Thanks.
I even mentioned it at some point. I'm actually gonna turn the music off on Spotify.
Fuck, I'm pulling the fucking dinner break on my stream.
We just come back from dinner,
Yeah.
and then and then we
clear
one banged
VOD.
it.
Okay, let me turn it off. Alright, I got it.
My bad. Isn't it super boring on DPS?
Sorry, chat. I'm
I
a
don't think so.
professional streamer, I promise.
I don't think so. I think this fight is really fun. I think this concept is really cool. Like, we figured out how to deal with it, blah blah blah.
Ow.
I think this knock up tank buster thing is pretty cool. It's a different sort of concept, you know. I think, you know, we kind of surmised that you'd have to build your own bridges, right? And that's what we did. First time we've seen pillar busters? No. Sephiroth had them. This shit is fucking fast. I really struggled to see this fast enough. This fight has some really fast sections. It felt like they took the concept of an extreme and put it in Savage. I genuinely think. This fight is really cool. Thank you, Daybreak. Say what you want about it. I know PF sucks at it. I've heard the horror stories. But I think they pulled it out of the park.
Jesus Christ, dude.
Some cool concepts. For a second turn, like this is hard for a second turn. Like, I will definitely agree. This is hard for a second turn. But that's, again, why the DPS check is really lax. We went from 30% on best pull to kill. You can wing the last, like, 30%. You get past, Harrowed Holes, whatever the fuck it is, and you win. More or less. Now, I will say this. Okay, I find wild charge mechanics very unintuitive. Because it is very not obvious what you're meant to do. I think one of the weaker parts of this tier is just like these weird inclusions of wild charge mechanics. Wild charge refers to tanks taking damage paired with somebody, or like the group, or they're just like pair mechanics where direct damage is coming from a certain direction. I find it weird, like, figuring this stuff out, because it's like there's no tell whatsoever. Well, this is the thing, Carlo, because like having an indicator is too obvious. But they just they feel very randomly shoved in. But at the same time, I guess it's fairly easy to work out when you see how much damage you take solo. But it's like a body check mechanic, right? You either take 1 billion damage, or you take a normal amount of damage. Can you knock back immune them? I'm not sure. I don't think we tried. They feel weird to figure out. I feel like they're a little bit random. But apart from that, you know, this is the quote-unquote limit cut. We just did melee tanks, healer tanks, range tanks, then tanks on their own for this. However, if the pattern was knocking from this side over to that side, we'd have to get, like, me and my tank would get knocked to the other side, we'd move out the way, and then they get knocked away again. It felt really weird, but kind of fun to do. This wasn't one of those patterns, but that felt very strange. I'm not sure. I'm not sure how I feel about this mechanic, but it's pretty cool.
Oh, fuck. Spread. In the middle. In the middle.
Spread.
But like this section is really fast. It's that into spread, into pairs, into Ray, and dodge the orbs. Like this fight just felt fun to do. I like this fight. I'm looking forward to doing it in PF and wiping forever. Okay, that enjoyment's gonna wear off pretty fast, let's be honest. But like, I like this fight. I think it's designed pretty well. And like, we progged it really fast. But I think this fight will have taken some, like, we saw like pull counts later on other groups, and they were taking like 2-3 times the fucking pulls to kill this fight. So I was pretty, I was pretty proud of us, honestly. I think we did really well here. I think this tier suffers from having a bit too much stack and spread though. Like, I think they made cool use of it, but I think they did it a bit too much. There is so much stack and spread, it's insane. But I think they made imaginative enough use of it that it was okay. But the problem is, it makes it very hard for PF, because coordination is hard. PF is going to really struggle, as they already are, but it's week 1. But I think PF will continue to struggle for a while.
Side, DPS front, and spread first. Rolls.
So we started fucking up here.
Yeah, it's fine, it's fine.
Even I fucked up here, because I kept forgetting about these orbs. I had a lot of brain fog this tier, for like brief seconds, where I just forget what's happening. And this was still day 1.
To break.
Saren has the cancer though.
Sacking the stacks when someone died. I mean, I guess you can do that. Again, like, there are ways to deal with this that are... I mean, I don't want to see PF doing it, but it is gonna be the case to help PF clear more often. I think they've designed it in such a way that you're rewarded for playing well, but if you fuck it up a lot, you can still win by selectively sacking stuff. Which you might think kind of defeats the point of a mechanically heavy tier, but it is a second floor. So I guess, in a way, like, it's okay. I don't know, I'm kind of conflicted when it comes to, like, PF.
Spread into pairs.
Oh, what the?
Bleed. I have bleed.
Turns front.
This is a lot of damage.
It's
Like,
spread.
an absolute fuck ton of damage. For a second floor. Like, this is so much fucking damage. I could not believe it. If you're not prepared for this, you actually just get fucking ruined.
I'll come to you.
You lived that with dead people, yeah.
Now there are some lots of nothing.
Wait, is it actually like soak damage? I'm not sure. We presumed it was a wild charge. You lost 3 people, yeah. Like, it's rough. Like, that's a lot of fucking damage. It is a wild charge. Again, see, like, this is what I mean. Like, they randomly insert wild charges. And there's just no indication until you try it. Like, you don't know until you see people die to a fuck ton of damage on the first hit. Yeah, it's obvious when your DPS are standing in front and they get fucking one shot. Fucking... But I find it very strange. Like, okay, it takes a wipe to know, but still. Are you not trained? Not really. Somebody stay in front of you. Well, I guess the impact of them falling backwards, yeah, you're right. That's less, you know. That's less bad. Here, I'm also going to talk about pacing. I think these fights are well paced. They are not backloaded. For the most part. Does more damage to the first person to get hit by it? Yes. Correct. I think they've put all these mechanics early enough in the fight that you won't skip them. I mean, we'll see what, like, Full Bis does. It's gonna be close for some of them, but I think these fights are paced way better. Like, this fight is very manic around sort of the halfway point. But I think that's good, because it's better than putting that at the end. You know, I like the idea of a boss getting more and more mad at you for still being alive. But I don't like how it's so late in the fight that you're just going to end up skipping it. I think they did well with that this tier. I think they did good. However, on the other side of that coin, this fight is over after Hallowed Halls 1. Like, it's actually just over. Nothing else happens. And I think, you know, that's either balancing for a second floor. It's either balancing for a second floor, or it's the devs running out of ideas. We one-shot that, yes. Our best pull up until this point was 28.9, I think. No, 29.9. After we got past this, we figured out the web at the back and beat it, like... Or past it, rather. Like, the fight was just over. Was the Panzer mech any different from normal mode? No. I fucking ate it because I just didn't see it coming. I just did not see this coming at all. Because it just repeated some stuff and then all of a sudden they just randomly shove it in at the end like, wait, we forgot to include this or something. No, it doesn't kill you. You get paralyzed and a damage down. That's it.
Might be towers or spread after.
Freedom.
Towers or spreads?
Probably.
Looks like tower. He hasn't cast anything yet. Looks like tower.
So yeah, we just one-shot the last 30% of this fight. Yeah, here it is. I was like, wait, what's happening? I was like, shit, I need to get there. I was a bit late, though.
Oh,
So look, an assunerable paralysis and a damage down. That's it. That's all that happens. I was the only one that got hit by this, by the way. Holy fuck. I'm so bad. I think they just ran out of ideas. It's like, you figure out Hallowed Halls grants, you beat the fight. I was just like in an unfortunate position.
Out.
But yeah, like after that it's over. I'm pretty sure with all the deaths and shit we had, that, you know, I think the next Hallowed Hall is in Rage, right? Because you just get knocked off and you die.
Maybe towers now?
Group, I have a lot of myth in case.
Towers.
But overall, this is a very cool fight. This is easily one of the best fights they've designed in the entire expansion.
Left.
Easily. Maybe that's a hot take, perhaps. But I really like this fight. I'm glad it lived up to my expectation.
before he enrages.
I'm doing it now.
I'm also naming myth in case.
2 minutes should be now.
Minutes is now, yeah.
Yeah, but no.
I think this was quite a creative fight. So here you can see he's casting Harrowing Hell again.
Yeah, this is enraged.
I'll heal.
This is enraged, yeah.
Right, yeah, in the end of this, he's obviously gonna knock back and then you die.
Nice! What the fuck? Well fucking
But yeah,
It's
the
free.
What? Last 2 minutes just wing it, yeah.
Yeah, last 2 minutes is just mega free, yeah.
Good break.
Good shit, good shit.
but it's a very cool fight. I think they had fun designing this one. Easily one of the best second turns they've ever made, in my opinion. No cap. Yeah, a good wall boss. I can't believe it. In full bis, you're gonna like skip that entire last section. But excuse me. One of the best wall bosses, 100%. 100%. Utilizes the whole arena. Has a lot of different mechanics. Keeps people moving a lot. I think the fight is paced well. Is going to be skippable in Bis? Yes. Easily. That fight's going to fucking melt. Now, I did just say that I think these fights are generally paced quite well. And I'm glad that they're not putting the hardest shit right at the end all the time. But I do think, due to how they're focusing on mechanics rather than damage checks this tier, I do think some of the fun of these fights is going to be removed still. They have done better, I just don't know if it's enough. I'm not sure. Yeah, so far, 2 good fights. Bit too much stack and spread. But then you get to turn 3, which is stack and spread the fight. Coordination hell. I must say it right now. I think this is like the weakest fight of the tier. Once again. I think this is the weakest fight of the whole tier. They have once again fucked up on the 3rd turn. Now, I think this is better than E11. I think this is better than E7, P7. It's nicer to look at than P3. And E3, I'm not sure. E3 is... I don't know. I think E3 is better than this. I think E3 is better than this. I don't know. This fight, it's alright. It's okay. It's just okay. But I think it's going to get very boring. Yeah, like, this is better than E11. Because they don't cast the same mechanic 10 times. It's a bit less than that. But this is a lot of coordination throughout. Which again is going to be hell for PF, I think. Like, this whole tier is just going to be hard for PF. Purely because of how much coordination there is. Someone's not paying attention, like, 2 people die.
Maybe we should go dinner break.
So you know, this is early day 3. This is early day 3 now. No, sorry, day 2, not day 3. Day 2. Day 2. Early day 2. Yeah. We progged up to like
Middle. And then
letter of the law on day 1. I think. Can't remember actually.
Limit will be
And we like raid planned that night and then came back and killed it today. On that day.
I'm using Seiko as my
Yeah.
LB jump.
So like a lot of this fight, it was just initially figuring out what he's doing. Like when he's doing divisive, what do you do after the cleave? When he's doing jury, what does he do after the proteans? A lot of it was like you build a foundation for all the mechanics early on. And then like you already know most of the fight. And I feel like that's its weakness. It doesn't change things up very much.
Dark safe. Left. Knock back into pairs.
Like, again, the DPS check's not hard.
and then pairs.
It's somewhat fast in places.
I was
But I just, again, I don't like how once you understand the basic principles of the fight, which doesn't take long, like, you've already done most of the fight.
This looked very bad.
I think this fight lacked creativity. It felt very forced. Again, it relied on speed and coordination. Maybe that's what they were going for, and that's fine.
Remember to wait.
Middle.
And then go to C.
You know, a lot of it was very sequential.
Proteins. Audio markers.
Does the big dark and light circle show up in Savage? No.
Where am I going?
Zen?
Oh, yeah.
Carries.
It does not. I'm not, you know, it's kind of weird that that was removed entirely. I mean, like, they kept the debuffs, which they use in a different way. But the like the kind of tower things you stand in are not there.
Don't work too much now.
With sticks, we eventually realize that every sticks he does is one additional hit. It's just Akmorn all over again. I guess it makes sense because he has fucking wings. Haha. Dragon. I'm still bad at these mechanics to this day. I was bad at it in O12S. The first time I saw this, my fucking stomach fell out of my ass. I was like, oh good, a mechanic I'm never going to be able to figure out. Because I'm just really fucking bad at it. Left of 2 yellows, right of 2 blues. Thank you for being smart. Thank God. Because I'm so shit at this.
Free C, free C, free C, free C.
Pairs.
Slowly.
I don't know. Like there's just not much to say about this fight, really. Like it's just very. I don't know. It just feels mundane. And I felt like that would happen from doing normal. It just feels very mundane. And just not creative. It doesn't feel like a third turn again. Like I think they have failed to make a good third turn.
Dark and light.
And then pairs.
Necro.
It is obviously worlds better than P7. Like, there's no fucking contest.
Feathers.
P7 is an abhorrent disaster. You didn't like P3S? Not really. But as I've explained before, I just don't like P3S. Because I just don't like P3S. Like, it's not a bad fight. Memes aside, I just don't like it. I just don't enjoy it. But I think it's a better tuned third turn than this. Alright, so the hardest mechanic out of the whole fight, dark and light. This took us a while to get down properly. It's not too punishing if you fuck up. As long as you don't fuck up too much and you stay dead when you die. Otherwise you fuck up your partner's tether.
Let me go close to put me across.
Or you fuck up tethers in general.
Space in the back.
So we just always had near and far on set markers. And then just, you know, coordinated. I think this is going to be really hard for PF, but it's not a bad mechanic. But again, it's like, it's just paired of like jury and divisive. Like, it just feels, this whole fight just feels like a waste. Yeah, this whole fight just, oh, this is the point where I realize just there's too much stack and spread, man. I don't know, there's just so little to say about it. I don't know if I'm just being too picky. I don't know if I'm just jaded. There's just such like a lack of thought in it.
Stay out, stay out, stay out.
Don't move, just don't move.
Just stay.
So I was glad this didn't take us long. Again, this fight really didn't take us long.
Mid for the favor.
We just sucked at coordinating a bit. But that was it.
Yeah.
We got Mount. Mia, I think.
Yeah, I think it's there.
It's fine, it's fine.
Yeah, it does feel a bit lazy. It feels a bit lazy.
Yeah,
Just nothing about this fight stood out to me. P10 was fast and fun. P9 at least had a big epic mechanic that felt like you really had to think. I nearly died here. Like, this mechanic was new for Savage compared to normal, and it's just like, it's over just like that. Like, it's like they just wanted to pad the time. Like, I think that's how to describe this fight. It just felt like padding the fight. Like, he just randomly does one of these, and then like another divisive, and it's just so boring. There's periods of nothing. There was no speed to it or anything like that. The difficulty is purely in coordination.
AFK now. No, one more thing.
And then he just does this? Like, look how much time we spend just wailing on the boss. And then after this, he just autos for 7 years because it's 2-minute window time. Like, it's just so boring, bro. Like, it's so bad.
We're way ahead on this, so just play it safe.
Yeah, it's intentionally making you do nothing on 2-minute windows. Like, it's so shit. Like, they failed with this fight. Like, they just did. Like, you just sit here fucking smacking the boss for so long. So, Letter of the Law. Looks very complicated, but isn't. 11 as healer is kind of alright. There's a lot of damage. Yes. Like, this tier in general hurts. I think that's good.
Fuck the uptime, I'm just gonna stand.
At least for week 1. We'll see how it is later.
Mid. Look for your tower. Look for your tower.
But this is, you know, like this fight. This mechanic looks complicated, but it's not. Now we're just back to this.
Into shadow. Knock back, knock back.
Not back light bar.
Not back light parties. Stay out. Max melee.
Mega.
And then the fight's over. Like that's it. It's done.
Yeah, we.
Fight done.
It's a big one.
I think there's.
It's gonna mega save this one.
You know,
I had it.
boring.
Yeah, I have fun time as well.
Remember there is.
Paced a bit weirdly.
Remember we both took it.
Do you want to think for that?
Yes, just do it.
Just nothing to write home about, you know.
Not here, not here.
Oh, it's
DPS checks not even tighter, really.
Orange from your left, blue on your right. Delta. Remember you go take it slow and
A fight like this, they could easily make a tighter check.
slow.
Simply because, like, it's either a mess or it's just a free kill.
And pot.
Now, I say that, re-clears is probably going to be a meme.
Yeah, it's a buster coming here. Need to
Because we'll all disrespect the fight.
paint this then if you can.
Yeah, I got it.
No, I mean, like, P7S is just such a low bar, you know?
Just kill it.
I'm sending the
Just
OB.
send melee. Yeah, send melee.
Yes, and
I don't know what happened to my chat here, by the way.
Nice.
Proteans and
Oh.
Pez.
He just falls over, man. Like, with a fucking whimper.
just make sure you play.
Protein and Pez.
It's not good.
Nice.
Nice job.
It's bad.
You.
Nothing took much figuring out. Nothing really made you think. P10 did a way better
I
job
was on rage right after
than
that,
this fight.
so-
3 out of 5.
They could have literally switched them. And I think that would have been okay. Sad. Everything falls on 2-minute windows. Well, speaking of that, we move on to Door Boss. Speaking of that, we move on to the Door Boss. So we spent all the rest of day 2 on this and a bit of day 3. Oh shit, I got kicked out of my island, man. Feels bad. Let's just go back to let's go back to Limsa, fuck it. Hang on. Oh yeah, true. Let's talk about the music quickly. Overall, pretty okay, but my god, does it get sickening on Door Boss. Jesus Christ. But overall, it's pretty alright. Better than last 2. Apart from Embers. Embers was good, and so was Whitestone Black, but... you know. So, Door Boss. Took a bit of figuring out. Overall, this is probably second to P10S for me. I think. I was scared of this fight though. When we went in, I was scared about what it was gonna do. Especially super chains. Because we knew it was gonna happen, we just didn't know what they were gonna do.
Stay here. Stay on inside there.
But this is what we did for this. We just all ran through. And did a roll split. Here we had some like fucking super baked priority system. Introducing you to the whole light and dark thing. Boy oh boy. Not too much to say about it, but you know, interesting. I like how they've innovated a little bit on the use of towers, which are typically quite boring. It feels a little bit more exciting. Yeah, like nothing. Like tank busters in general. Again, I think P10S easily did it best. And they're much more interesting. Your tower strats, I mean, we got a 400-page essay. So that mechanic in particular, we had to restrat. Zen, like, cooked a gourmet meal and helped us, like, actually get it down consistently. Because our first strat was just pinpoint precision, and it was not fun. But, like, this mechanic is cool. Like, I like that they put 2 minutes here. Absolute hell for some, I know. But, like, take this and compare this to fucking P11. Like, P11 just lets you wail on the boss for, like, 30 seconds plus. This fight's like, yo, you want a 2 minutes? Have fun, bitch. Like, man. Kind of rough to be, even for me, to be like hypercharging and moving while trying not to auto face the boss and constantly move. Like, my keybinds aren't ideally placed for that sometimes. I realized that this too. I'd not really been tested on that up until now in my years of machinist. 30-yard ley lines. Man, please no. However, you can delay 2 minutes by a short amount here. You have room to do so due to the length of the fight. By, like, not by much, but a bit. So you can kind of get around it if you collectively decide. But we decided for this point just now, just fucking send it, man. Like, who cares, man? Whatever. So, you know, like, P9 just lets you smack the boss. P10 lets you smack the boss during 2 minutes. P11 lets you smack the boss during 2 minutes. This fight stopped doing that. Fight is peak design. I think this fight is very well designed. However, I do think it's the one example, this tier, of backloading a fight probably being bad. Now, whether you call it backloaded or not is kind of down to personal opinion. But the two, like, harder super chains at the end, like, you're easily gonna kill during that. You are at least skipping B, if not more. So I think this boss, out of all of them, is gonna suffer the most from gear. Like, okay, like, maybe backloading is the wrong word, but there are still hard mechanics at the end. I don't know, I think that's down to what you're good and bad at. Like, I am bad of, like, a lot of information being on the screen. Super Chain was very, like, was very difficult for my eyes. I think that, like, that's me. Other people probably aren't the same. But yeah. Anyway. We'll move on. Trinity of Souls was interesting. I predicted that like she would do different things as per the color of her rings. I was obviously completely wrong.
Stay.
Just where she started on her wing meant she either flipped or didn't.
It was at the end of your 2 minutes, right? Second.
But overall,
Way up.
this is a cool fight. And now, yes, the hardest mechanic that took us the longest to figure out and have a decent strat for is here. So many of our polls were due to this.
That's not for some.
Once we had it down, like, we did it every time. But,
That's not for some.
man, this shit was fucked. So I think this is the strat most people do now, actually. Like, obviously they like they didn't find it from us, but this is the strat people figured out would be best.
I just went on the stack there, so we could throw in space and move in earlier. That's all I did.
Yeah. That was good.
Everyone does that, right? Everyone does
But it's a fun fight. It's, you know, I am somewhat impressed by Square Enix's creativity, despite the fact that we have bosses that just never move. You know, they have proven me a little bit wrong. Because I've said that, like, they've limited mechanical creativity by doing this. Now, you know, it at least looks kind of boring for tanks. I don't know if it is. But overall mechanics are pretty fun. So, ad phase. This took us a while to kind of figure out the nuance of. So we eventually got it. We had 5, 7, 6, 8, 1, 3, 2, 4 take beams. In that order. And then 1, 3, 2, 4, 3, 1, 4, 2, etc. Doing the cleaves. The dashes. Prime limit cut mechanic. Once again. Now, I don't think you can call this an ad phase, because you don't kill any ads. Do I like this mechanic? Echo did a slightly different solution. I'll tell you what, watching Echo do this mechanic is the funniest thing ever, man. Watching them go in and just see if it's beam time, and if it's not, run away again, is peak fucking comedy, man. Like... It is so fucking funny. Like, there are set patterns. Can you react to it? React to what? Echo's limit cut strat, you could just go back in their VODs. They moved in when it glows. They just move in and, like, see if it's fucking beam time. Whereas we realize there seems to be, like, set patterns. But it debates you a bit. Like, if it starts with 2 beams, one after another, it's ages before the third one. So, like, it tries to make you panic a bit. But once we figured out, like, where we had to be to take the dashes and stuff, the rest was fairly simple. After every dash makes it fixed for everyone all the time. I don't know, that seems weird, because, like, you can miss position and get fucking dashed. Whereas if you just keep rotating with 2 people in, I think that's better. It's an interesting mechanic, though. Yeah, like, a lot of the problem for us was just figuring out how to not die. Because it's very strict on distance. That damage ramps up very fucking quickly. And it already hurts even now. Like, healers are pretty stressed during this, I think. But it's an interesting mechanic though. It's kind of funny just watching the ad in the middle just fucking do a little dance. Maybe that's intentional. Oh really? Okay. So, you know, we just had the 2 people waiting to get beamed just stand there, you know. And it was our turn. 2 beams straight away. And then you just wait. Like, you know, it's a pretty fun mechanic to do. It's just always like, you know. It's the kind of mechanic where it makes you kind of hold your breath a bit. Like, it's a little bit like, fuck, who's gonna mess up? Who's gonna mess up? But we got really consistent at it. Kind of like top, sort of. Sort of. And like this, this tier is a lot of coordination. I think this is gonna be really hard for PF.
Focus.
It already is, but it's week 1. But I think things like that are always gonna be hard for PF. For all the stack and spread they do, like it is kind of boring, but I do think that it's gonna be hard. Alright, the last super chains. Man, I'm so fucking bad at this. Like, it took me so long to be able to pass whether it was run through or run back. Like, my brain was just in panic mode. In, like, full fog. For so long. Like, now, by the end, I could obviously see that, you know, there's a chain going to the other side. So, okay, you move through. But for some reason, this mechanic for me just took me so long to, like, stop panicking with. I like fast movement, but I'm kind of bad at it. Like, I am just kind of shit at it. It's hard. Yeah, like, it is a lot of visual clutter. I think I struggle with a lot of visual shit on screen. Like, I really do. And, like, Super Chain just keeps spawning shit, man. And then, like, doing that along with this cleave, like, oh my god, dude. Unless it's all on one side. You know, I was scared of what they would do with Super Chains, and here you go. I was scared of what they would do, and, you know, I was right to be, I think.
Mia's faster. Mia is close. No, far. Mia's far.
So we decided to burst here. This is when we would burst. We delayed it to here. So we weren't bursting too much during 2B. But I think, like, 2B is easily getting skipped. Maybe even some of 2A. Like, although you probably have to finish the mechanic. Like, this fight is going to get completely wrecked by gear.
North. Then we'll go to Delta.
Though there are at least hard mechanics, you know, sort of midway through. Like, this one I could see a bit better. But I always forgot small details, such as, well, we called them the lads. But the lads are on the side there doing the
Watch
beams.
the chariot. B1 is safe after. B1 is safe after.
You think Harrowing Hell will be skipped in P10S? I don't know. Very close to it.
I will rep.
Just full DPS kore na aikaan heal.
I need shield though. Don't take too long to finish one. And he's getting now.
Two out of.
Or not, I guess?
Two out of.
That was kind of close.
Oh, thank
We
God.
had much better pulls.
Oh my god.
30%? Yeah, but gear is very powerful, especially when people are more optimized.
Good job. Torn, don't ever
I'm not
do that
sure.
again on the parallel, please.
So anyway, yeah, I think this fight is very good. Like, this fight is very good.
If we need mitigation, then I can't do anything.
I found out, I guess.
It's Morbid.
It is fun to execute, but I think it's gonna get wrecked by gear the hardest.
Spook.
Well,
I included the transition here
Oh,
just
no.
for...
Oh no.
This transition is alright. You know, I think it's kind of cool.
Let's go.
Clean enough, but in Chinese cartoons to see
Yo,
this over here.
it's
This is very nice. You know, it's very pleasant to look at. I think visually this tier is presented very well. There wasn't really any point where I felt like things were hard to see.
Latina.
Holy shit.
It's her again.
I think they did really well at that, actually. I think visual clarity this tier is very good.
of course it is a wall boss.
Yeah, our ninja was unhappy that it was a wall boss. Now I'm gonna talk about that a bit. We're gonna move on to this fight.
That right now and
I mean, that's how you avoid.
So we enraged twice, just due to messy pulls, really. Shut up, Karin. Man, this fight, like, it's weird. It's weird. The mechanics in this fight feel very... I don't know. It's really hard. It's really hard to describe how I feel about this fight. I have so much to say. The mechanics feel very... They just don't feel epic to me. You know, I compare this to 04, 08, 012, P4, even P8. It feels just very sort of like... I don't know. Like, it's really hard to describe what I mean. Like, the mechanics are difficult. Like, they are. They are difficult in places. I don't know. It's like they feel too small for the arena. In a way. It's like you feel like you're pieces of a board game. In a way. You just feel small. And that's not a joke about, you know, the fucking, like, the globe shit. Yeah, no, like, no pun intended. Like, it feels like you are part of a board game. I don't know. I think maybe part of that's because it's a wall boss. Maybe, but even P8 didn't give me that impression. Fight is very good blinding of guidance on his side. Yeah, I mean, like, a lot of this fight is about figuring out the puzzles. I mean, that said, there is execution required. Like, you can very easily fuck this up, and it's harder than, like, high concept. I don't know. I think that's... I don't know, we'll go onwards with it. You know, this tank buster on the first pool caught us by surprise, like, oh, okay.
critting in.
Full half cleave, got it.
Very sad.
That was it.
Died to it immediately.
I'm gonna trade every single.
This, you know, this sums up a lot of how I feel about the weaker parts of this tier. This mechanic sums it up. Very spectacle. Not much substance. The weaker parts of this tier just feel like they're being all flashy to be cool. But the mechanics themselves aren't that great. Isn't it just an arena transition? They literally... They shrink you. And, like, they do something with the arena. Caloric or towers during UAV 2? I think so, yeah. We'll get there. We'll get there. So, like, this mechanic is very... It's a fucking wet fart, man.
So true. I mean,
Chat, I still can't believe what's about to happen. I still cannot believe what's about to fucking happen. Look where I am. How the fuck did that fucking hit me? Never mind the fact that I lived. How did it hit me? What is that? But yes, this is the 31 incident. Yes, the edge of this fucking arena is fucking tiny. It is like it's like a curve. You were so far out of the DPS stack on my screen. Did your keyboard break? No, I just moved slightly late. Oh my god. Jesus Christ. Nice HP. But yes, you cannot go too close to the edge of this arena or you just fall off. I think the perspective is something we're not used to. And I think that's what happens. I think that's what makes this happen. Like, you think you have more space. The song's in the bottom right. It's not a song request today. Like, it feels very headfucky. I'm pretty sure Corin caused a couple people to fall off because when you were using Icarus to get away, I think people felt like they had to walk further. And then they were falling off. Why do I have a purple crown? Great fucking question, buddy. I don't know. I'm a bit late. Yes, sure. But how the fuck? How is that hitting me? Like, what is that fucking bullshit, man? I will never understand. I got a DD twice on our clear. The second one was definitely my fault. No contest. But, like... This shit is fucked. Anyway, moving on. You hear my reaction to that?
Just whatever, it's just outside.
You hear that, dude?
What?
I was
I,
pissed.
I guess whatever, it's just outside of it.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
Doesn't even work on the robot. It's fine.
Anyway, like, this mechanic's kind of cool. You know, I like the whole tentacle thing. Not like that, chat. Shut up. Alright, look, the Athena hentai porn is gonna be really good. But that's not what I mean. I think this section is very, like, cool. But it's really fucking easy, man. Like, it's too fucking easy. It's a complete wet fart of a section. The first 20% of this fight is just like, what is even happening? Like, this is an extreme mechanic.
Yeah, I was very, like, interesting. Like, how did that get there?
I mean, I don't know how the fuck it hit me. Like, I'm literally with the fucking group when they go off.
Anyway, I was mad. I was tired, man. It was like 9 o'clock or something, in the evening. We had like one more lockout after this. Anyway, classical concepts. Interesting mechanic.
The only one I
Didn't take us long to figure out that they were all tethering to blues. So like, okay, cool. We initially thought that alpha and beta were referring to specific colors. Turns out that's not the case. So we always had alphas take red, betas take yellow. I don't really understand what these the purpose of these debuffs are. It's to help you coordinate. But it didn't matter which one you had. You have a certain plug on your normal size in UAV. I don't think that's good, because you won't be able to see where to stand. Be always yellow. You see, you can set a rule, like, okay, but they don't do anything. I don't know. It feels weird to me. Again, this is where I started to feel like we're just like chess pieces on a chessboard. I was like, you know, this fight feels very just... maybe it's because the boss is so big, but then so was Heffy Boy. But those mechanics felt bigger, at least. How does classical concept work? You have to intercept the red and yellow pieces. Red and yellow shapes from tethering the blue. If any one of them tether, you blow up and die. Any B-Pog enjoyers? That is immediately what we did, yeah. Hello, Spin. But anyway, you know, sort of interesting mechanic.
I'll go right, so
I go left, I go left.
Safe spot. Ray baits. Mechanic over. Very cool. Very nice. Group rebuilding. Jesus Christ. I'm sorry to hear it. How many, like, chat, do you know of many groups that disbanded this year? Like, I know of like 2 or 3. Is it really been that hard? Like these fights are still hard to execute, even if you know like strats, like in places. Again, because of the amount of coordination that it requires. Like, but has it been that bad? IRL, other issues, rough. And one person dragging ass, then yeah.
NGL.
Hard players I was with are bad at moving. See, I just find that so weird. I mean, like, I've been linked, like, images, man. Like, I've been linked, like, fucking some crazy images. Like, people's fucking groups and stuff are so bad. Like, what is this? I was linked this. Like, what is that? And this. Like, what happened this tier? Why are people so bad at pressing buttons? Like, is this PF screaming out saying, give me DPS checks, I don't want to be damaged? I don't know. Like, week 1, and that's what you're doing. Like, what the fuck is going on, man? How are people this fucking bad? And I've seen a lot of this. Like, I've seen a lot of people, like, in my Discord as well, just linking, like, analyses of people just pressing 0 cooldowns. Is this Matty? Like, it's fucking weird as shit. There's a lot of people trying Savage, I think. Because, you know, like, the barrier for entry into Savage is so low, right? You do the normal raids. You don't even really have to get much gear. So I think this is just like this is the first floor filter that always exists every tier. And then like maybe eventually those people give up or they just never clear. Like I have no idea. It's strange. Isn't working again. Rip. P11 is easier than P10 in my opinion. It's just a lot of coordination. If you have that down, like, most of the fight is free because he spends most of the fight doing the same fucking thing over and over. I'll get to PlayStation 2, don't worry. Instantly message. Like, who the fuck does that? Who messages people? Like, did you clear early? Like, who does that? Like, fucking someone on, like, fucking P10 or something, like, just fucking starting, like, essaying in people's DMs. Pretty late, we did full blind yesterday. I mean, that's not bad for full blind. Like, why would you just start essaying at people about their strats? Like, huh? If they're full blind, of course it's gonna be fucking scuffed. Like, hello? Like, do you have any right to do that? When you're, like, copying strats from all the world races? Because you're not going blind? And, you know, not going blind is completely fine, by the way. But if you're gonna be a fucking dickhead, then maybe you should go full blind and we'll see you come up with something better. Like, that's so fucking weird. We'll get there, Limit. We'll get there, don't worry. Like, people in this game are so weird, man. Anyway. Onwards. So, they decided to include a random Isuna Buster. Don't know if you noticed, but a lot of this came from Rabanasta. You know, a lot of her voice lines come from Evilis in general. People like Thunder God, Ultima Seraph, Agrius. It's quite interesting. I'm not really sure what the connection is, but yeah. Bard useful. Anyway. This took us a bit to figure out. We had to test how much we could move and stuff. This mechanic is so weird, man. Like, the fact they put lines on the floor to kind of give you an idea that there's only so far you can move. This is a very creative mechanic. But my god, was it like weird to solve.
Idea.
But again, this is where I really felt like I'm just like a fucking pawn on a chessboard. Like, I feel small. I guess it's kind of cool. But it felt weird. Did we get screwed by the bug? No. We did get screwed by another bug, however. Hang on, where is it? I DM'd it to somebody. We had this happen. Where we wiped and just the floor didn't reappear. We were still physically on the arena, but there was no visual. This only happened once. But it was like, what the fuck? Hey, Zen. Did it reappear after you did like the celestial thing of some of us alive? Or was it... Or did we have to wipe? Yeah, we just did that, right? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, so this happened. This was a bit fucking weird. Hello, Kyo. Did I miss tier react stream? I'm still doing it, but I'm on the last fight now. But I'll go back over and summarize after. So anyway, Caloric was weird. Like, I think it's a cool design mechanic, but it's very weird. And yeah, there is some weird bug happening to some people. X's, like, man, am I so sick of seeing fucking Exa flares, dude. Like, this mechanic felt like filler. This felt like filler. It's like every mechanic was like a big cast. And it was something that was like somewhat difficult to do. And especially figure out. But then you just had this. Don't know how you guys kept dying to this, because you're a fucking tank, dude. What do you mean? You can tank privilege the proximity and everything. People wipe to it 10 times. I died a couple times to moving too early. The proximity has a weird fall off. It's like Giga Flare in DSR. It's like if I moved now, I would probably die. But I have to delay slightly. Even the cross pattern isn't that bad. This just felt like filler to me. It was a weird mechanic.
Worked with 1 in the first one, no debuff, and long in the second set.
Okay, Pangenesis. My god, I was so fucking bad at this. Again, took us a bit to figure out. But it wasn't too bad. Some godlike cooks in the group. I just did what I was told.
Oh, we have merch though.
Again, like, I feel like this mechanic... This mechanic really made me feel like something was missing. No, I feel like the towers should have been bigger and should have gone to, like, the back of the arena or something. Like, it just kind of exists to me. We just tried random shit for a bit and figured it out from there. Randomly, oh yeah, that night when you just randomly saw the blob. It's like, wait, why is this fucking blob here? Like, we're just shitting out fucking babies while doing the mechanic. Is that thanks for the fun? It's so strange, man. Because at that point we hadn't got to the end of the mechanic, so we were like, what does that do? What was the hardest part of P12, P2? For me, this. Probably. I think this was the hardest bit for me. Followed by what's coming next. Small organs get transferred over to new species. Oh. Yeah, I mean, like, okay, here's a fun fact. We literally Google translated a couple of Greek words to figure out what was going on. Or reinforce our ideas. So, like, the near and far tank buster in the door boss, we Google translated it. And then I did the same thing for, I mean, like, well, I went and looked at what caloric theory was. And found out it was heat theory, and I'm just like, man, it's kind of cool. I agree that I think it's cool how they've taken concepts and turned them into mechanics. I think that's very clever. The overall theme of this tier is smart. Or at least Athena. It is interesting. We had like wiki pages open and everything. Alright, chat, right. Here's the right way to do this fucking strat. Stop doing rescue. You can just do this and never touch your fucking rescue. Why am I seeing so many groups do rescue strats? Stop it. Because it's free? Brother. I watched a number of your polls, and there is no way that a couple of your rescues should have lived. What are you doing? It's week 1, chill? Look, man, I'm chill. I'm mostly memeing. But why would you do that when you just do this? Now, I want to point out. Fucking Eli, man. Look at this. Like, he has no right to survive this mechanic. Like actually so fucking close. Oh, he's a healer, man. Oh, holy fuck. Anyway, yeah, you just do that and move over. Like, yeah, okay, you lose a GCD, but let's not pretend this fight is a DPS check. Anyway, yes, very cool mechanic. I see, you know, the high concept / fucking defamation shit. Very cool. Alright, mind-bending time. PlayStation 2, this was not the hardest part of the mechanic.
Moving.
Boy, am I glad we had Limit our 9th man, though. Because he taught us about... What was it called? The mirroring thing? That it does? What was it called again? Central symmetry. Thank you. He taught us about this. And it made it so much easier to work out. Yeah, I found rotating it 180 in my head to be easier. In the end. But, my god. But that wasn't the hardest part of this mechanic.
What?
How many times did we wipe to the fucking Palladian Ray?
I stay where I am.
How many times? So many times, dude. We had problems with this. And then your boy eats a fucking damage down. Because I forgot to move center. I wanted to move there and I just didn't. It's damage down number 2. Saved your ass. Yeah. This pull, I just sucked ass, man. Like, I don't know. This pull, I just fucking sucked. I just couldn't. I couldn't do it, man. I was so tired at this point. I was quite regularly spacing out. I am so glad we killed this day. Alpha's north, beta south. Yeah, there are ways to figure it out. We just kind of YOLO'd a lot. Yeah, at this point, it was a good thing we did not give me any gear. Because basically, we mostly geared our ninja and a caster. Because we were expecting hard DPS checks. So we geared them in case the caster needed to go Black Mage. Which he was prepared to do. And I'd have gone Dancer. Turns out that was very not necessary. But, you know, we were prepared for the worst. So actually our gear distribution ended up not being too optimal. But it didn't matter. Just thought I'd mention that as a side note. But on this pull specifically... Yeah, okay.
Nathan, I won't have Nathan for the,
Yeah, good.
I won't have anything for the,
During this DD, I just pressed 1, 2, 3. Like, I didn't use any gauge.
Melee on me.
LB, son, LB.
Oh shit, I thought.
as soon as you can.
Sorry. I have time.
I'm gonna shorten it for this.
It's fine after this colored position.
Hello, Rick.
Yeah, lucky for your machines. Enjoy their free orange historicals that no one cares about.
Type pump to help Matty pump.
No. I didn't like this
It
meme.
is counterclockwise. It is counterclockwise.
Anyway, this took much less figuring out. This really didn't do much. It was funny watching people wipe to it though.
I will go C, Corin. I will go C. Just remember.
I mean, like, gearing a machinist isn't grief anymore, so yeah.
Excel?
Excess.
Is it normal for a pass to move up in percent as more people clear it? Yes. Because your percentile is based on the amount of people that have cleared. But your passes mean absolutely fucking nothing until like at least week 8 where other people have gear. So like, you know, people getting a hard on over their high passes when they were either fed gear or just not many people have cleared the fight, like, please settle down. Like, fucking... Historicals was such a fucking mistake, dude. Like, why are these, like, the standard metrics to show? Like, holy fuck, man. People are so weird. No one cares about your orange like week 1. Jesus fucking Christ. Especially during prog, when you're like just you're basically forcing the clear as much as possible. Anyway,
Safe as fuck.
onwards. Second X's. Okay. Sometimes it's just the same pattern both times.
I will stand on safe spots.
What does historicals mean? It's like your best like percentile pass, regardless of what it is now.
Mid?
You're at me.
Alright, back into the dome. This is the biggest wet fart of an end to a fight ever. This is so disappointing.
Play safe. We're very
Chill in the middle.
This is so fucking disappointing, man.
still wait. Gonna be
Now, look, I'm bored. I am bored of, like, enrage spam, okay? I am bored of the same shit where the boss just, you know, goes fucking sicko mode and tries to kill you. Alright? But it's at least more epic than whatever the fuck this was. Yeah, like, it just... do some fucking damage. Like, I just... This sucked so much. The enrage animation is very cool. It is. But you could have had the best of both worlds. But the end of this fight sucks. It's so shit.
northeast.
Like, what is this?
Wait.
North south.
Finish. She just wraps the tentacles all around and just, like, breaks the platform. But, like, this is so boring. Like, it was just over.
Find your tether partner.
It was just over. Like, we knew it was over, really. Fun fact. You can have a tank sit in the middle, invuln, and wild charge every single one of these. By the way. Not that it really matters, but... Yeah, look, Mia literally sits in the middle
Don't be in multiple ones, it's fine.
and invulns. Absolute fucking, like, this is like perfect Alex all over again, man. This fight just goes out with a whimper. AP2 made heals drop like flies and they tried not to repeat the incident. But it wasn't just P8 that had like heal and mit checks at the end. Every floor, sorry, every last floor since forever had one. Ever since like 012, at least.
Sending the LB after my 2
After
minutes.
2 minutes.
Send this guy home. Holy shit.
Damn,
don't-
with
Two
Sharif,
damage
bro.
downs, the worst he's ever played,
We
and he
did it.
fucking kills it.
Hey.
I can't believe this,
Oh
bro.
my god.
What is
dude.
this bullshit?
It
Fuck
took way
off,
too long.
man.
Oh my god.
I was so mad that I just griefed the kill run. Hello, Adonis. Congrats on your kill. I don't know, man. I was so pissed, dude.
Fuck that mechanic.
The fucking
Fucking
day,
shit.
the pulley fucking griefs his dick all fucking pull. Oh, I can't, man.
Holy shit.
Fuck out of here, fucking what's her name? A penis.
I was so mad, dude.
Holy shit, bro.
Remember.
Yeah, no, Matty, I'm not giving you that. Wait. Excuse me? Bro! What is going on with YouTube? And the only pull of the day you grieve. That is true, yeah. We all had our moments, though, I think. We all had moments of just pure grief. Man. So. Overall. Overall.
I have a good feel. 16.
Overall. This tier is the best they've released all expansion. By a long, long way. I enjoyed this prog. I enjoy this tier. My opinion is bound to change. At some point. But I enjoy how they increase the mechanical intensity.
Not very well.
You know what? I'm gonna open a notepad. I'm gonna open a notepad. So, pros, cons. Overall. So, pros. Mechanically challenging, faster, more intense. More body checks. Look, I am aware of how bad I sucked this tier, okay? My performance overall was not good. I am disappointed in myself. Unfortunately, my performance just wasn't it, dude. And I feel bad for that. I do. As a Fizz range, I should be playing more consistently. Unfortunately, I didn't do that. Hopefully I'll be better in Recluse. What do you mean? I was never your partner for mechanics. Going for summer top prog? Dunno, maybe. Maybe. Job balance is fine because DPS checks don't exist. People will obviously hit and rage because, you know, there's going to be a lot of death due to these aforementioned points. Wall bosses are actually fun. P10 is one of the best designed fights this tier. I think P10 is the best fight of the tier. Personally. I found it fun. We'll see if that lasts, but that's my thought for now. People hate it because they're in PF, and PF's bad at it, but that doesn't make it a bad fight. Like you need to differentiate the two. Like PF being shit at something doesn't mean it's bad. I understand why that makes you hate it, but that's not the fight's fault. It's a fucking skill issue. You don't want to press LB3 as healer? Why not, though? Good PF content. So, this tier is fun. I feel like it has more staying power than Abyssos. I really do. You know, I think the mechanics are a lot more interesting, although there is too much stack and spread. I'll put that in the cons in a minute. Like, there's just so much of it. But I think more body checks, you know, keeps things challenging. This is the trade-off, chat. You don't have to like it, but the trade-off is literally that if they're gonna make job design easier, they have to make fights harder. Otherwise, like, Savage isn't Savage anymore. It's just extreme. And like, yeah, okay, that makes it harder for PF, but like, what can you do? Like, what option do you really have? Like, you know, I understand the frustration around PF being bad. But at least for some of you, not all of you, because some, you know, I said this earlier, like some of you have a life, job, blah, blah, blah. You can't commit to static hours. Fair enough. But like, some people can, but they just choose to PF and then complain that PF is bad. Like, no shit, PF is bad. It's week 1. There are not standard strats yet. Everyone's just doing whatever the fuck they feel like. And this tier is harder, mechanically. PF is still better at doing damage than they are at mechanics. This is overall, Ren. You know, like, it's just, this is the roulette you run, and you can't factor that into how, like, good or bad a fight is. Because people would only complain that it's boring if it was too easy. I don't know how people in PF don't get hit by a bus while crossing the street. Fucking Jesus Christ, man. Yeah, I wish you guys luck out there, but yeah. So, the cons then. Gear will destroy the fights. So, again, I've seen a lot of discourse over whether DPS checks in the last floor are good or not. By doing what they have done, they are avoiding another Abyssos incident. Music was cat jam? True. Well, I'm sick of hearing it already, but, you know, it was alright. So, cons. Gear will destroy the fights. I think it's better that they've gone a mechanically more challenging route, a more coordination-heavy route, that rewards you for doing mechanics. If they went the P8 route, in my opinion at least, I don't think there's enough mechanics, and the DPS checks were obviously a product of bad balance. I think they could have tightened them up a bit. They could have tightened up the DPS checks a bit. Especially with 11 and 12. 9 and 10 I think are fine. They're the first two floors. The mechanics will be enough to stave off bad players. 11 and 12 should be tightened up a bit. I mean, it's too late now. They're not going to change it. But I think overall, as much as I agree that you shouldn't be able to have too many errors on the last floor, you've also just... You have to remember what happened to Abyssos. I think this was very intentional. They wanted to make it faster and harder to do cleanly. But the problem is that it's only going to get more forgiving from here. I think P12 door boss is going to suffer the most from this. I mean, we had 3 DDs and we killed it like 15 seconds to spare, right? I'm fucking it up too much, you do in Rage, but like, it's week 1. But then Gear's always been powerful. I don't know. I do think maybe it's more on... It's a bit too lenient. But the mechanics are going to fuck up a lot of people. Like, you have to remember, people that clear week 1, mostly, are like more capable players that have good recovery, even when shit goes wrong. And are generally okay at, you know, the mechanics. But for like your average group, this tier is going to be hard. And Savage is geared towards being puggable and being attempted by a lot of people. Maybe the gear helps them, but that doesn't help them with the body checks. Like, time is going to tell. I agree that it shouldn't be this lenient, but I'm okay with it being more lenient when the mechanics are harder to do. No, I'm aware of that. I'm aware that, like, week 1 is mostly a time thing. I know that. I'm just saying that generally there are more capable players doing more hours because they are more committed to raid. That's obviously not always the case. You get some special sausages getting early clears and thinking they're hot shit. A bit like me. Except I don't think I'm hot shit. But still. Congrats, Macros. Nice job. But I think this tier will do a better job of filtering out bad. Hopefully. Anyway, next con. Third turn... fails yet again. P11 is just not it, man. It's boring. It teaches you basic concepts at the start, and then you already know most of the fight, besides like 2 mechanics. You mean E11S? Kinda, yeah. Like, they need to stop this, man. They need to go back to the drawing board of third turns. Like they have to. Like, I could tell from the normal it wasn't going to be a lot of fun, and it wasn't. All the difficulty is in coordination, which, again, unlucky PF, good luck. But, yeah, I think 10 and 11 could have been switched. Yeah, there was a lot of damage and stuff, sure. Yeah, I mean, I think P11's easier than P10, honestly. It's just that deaths spiral more because of how much you need, you know, 2 people alive for repair and stuff. So one dies, another dies, and things can snowball a bit. And then someone will get 2 stacks, etc. Had the potential for a good savage fight. I don't think I did. I mean, I might have said it had potential, but I don't think that was realized. So yeah, unfortunately P11 is, it's not great. It's easily the weakest turn of the tier for me. I'll rank them in a minute. Pros, Hector guides are out early. That's not a pro. That's a con. Number 3, hitboxes. Now, this is an interesting one because obviously they design fights with the boss's hitbox in mind. These mechanics would not work too well if the bosses weren't as they are. And for what it's worth, I think they did well creatively with the tier. Given that I think that this limits creativity quite a lot. But the fact remains that, like, busters, for example, like, apart from maybe the last floor, are kind of boring. The boss still never moves. It still auto-teleports center. Like, the implications of a large hitbox are so much more than free uptime. And yeah, I just think it's a problem. Like, just go back and look at Halicarnassus. Or literally anything in Stormblood, for that matter. The Dragon to Towers, like, literally having to fucking move it around. Giving tanks something else to do. Just the hitbox size for full uptime. I mean, it's possible, I guess. But they are clearly meant to complement each other, yeah. I just find this to be very shit. And I hope 7.0 is different. But it's not like we didn't expect this, right? Like, we knew this was coming. And they've done a better job than they did all expansion. The last 20% of P12S was absolute horse hockey. No climax. No nothing. Just figure out how to heal. Yeah, but like, it wasn't a struggle. Like, I'm not saying that, like, enraged spam at the end is better. But it would have been better than this. Honestly. Yeah, as for, like, the mitigation and buff distance changes, I mean, it's clear why they did it. I still don't think it was a good idea, though. Like, if they're gonna make bosses like this, they should just put them in a fucking pool of lava in the middle of the arena. Remove the fencing so you can fall off, like, through a hole in the middle as well. Because that's how much they move. AKA, they don't. You'd have a different opinion if you did it on healer? I don't think I would. I really don't think I would. Because the reason it's like this is because they're making hitboxes bigger. Like, it's like a chain reaction. Everything gets bigger. People are end up more far apart. And they're just compensating by making it easier to deal with. Rather than designing fights in such a way that encourage people being within distance. Maybe I'd think about it differently if I was a healer, but I just don't like this concept. But, I don't know. I've been talking about this for like 2 hours now, if not more, and I think that's most of my thoughts out there. Honestly. I think overall this tier is a huge improvement. I think the prog was fun. We choked a couple times, but we got through it relatively fast. And looking at rankings, like, consider this, right? I cleared this tier about 2 hours later than I cleared last tier. And last tier was like barely top 50. Less groups had cleared this tier in that same time frame. That already tells you that it was harder. And there's obviously the caveat that maybe less groups tried to go hardcore this tier. Like, that might also be true. So, you know, I could be, like, way off the mark here. But, did I do a Blissos blind? No. Only up to... some way into P8S, I think. I've never been fully blind. In Asfo, I was blind up until the second half of P3S, because we had DCs and Qs and shit. So we decided to just go and look to save time. And then we did P4S blind. P4S was blind. I believe. Wasn't your group way better this time? I mean, it's hard to say, really. My Abyssos group was also really good. Like, all the groups I've been in for Savage this expansion have been cracked, honestly. P1 to 12 tier list at some point? Probably. Again, you know, I was one of the weaker links for sure. And, you know, regrettably, I did not play up to my own expectation. I'm sad about that. But it is what it is, I guess. We got it done. P5S versus P9. It's a tough one. Not sure. P9S is a fun fight, but P5 is more original, I think. And P5 was like by far the best fight last two. An otherwise absolute fucking disaster. But yeah, you know, we did good here. You know, P10 died really fast. P11 died pretty fast. P12 we choked a bit, but that's because we had to like restrat something as well as eating shit. And last four also died in a fairly decent time, I think. Considering that like a lot about last floor is solving it, I think we did really well. I think, at least. Maybe others in the group think we underperformed, but I think we did really well. Considering we weren't racing, we did have a 9th man for like at least some of it. Someone asked what our ranking was. We were 35th in the world. Everyone has different standards, as I said. No, I know that. But, you know, I personally feel like we did really well. And it was a fun prog. And the group was really fun. I had a good time. It was a good time. Unfortunately, during prog, I never sound like I'm having fun. Because I'm like focused, or I'm tired, or I'm both. So it's hard to tell. Which is why I've like reserved a lot of my opinions until now. And whenever I see people talking about fights and discords and shit, I just kind of don't participate. Because I wanted to get it all out here. Ranking. I think the worst fight this tier is P11. Followed by P9. Followed by P12, P2. Followed by P12, P1. Followed by P10. I think P10 is the best fight this tier, honestly. I really do. I was astonished by its creativity. I did like it. It's good fun. I'm looking forward to it in PF. So there you have it. There's the review. What do you like about P9 on DPS? Because on Hilo it's awful, nothing happens, and the fight feels slow. I enjoyed mostly the second half of the fight. Honestly. After Limit Cut 1? Yes. In fact, that is another con, I think. I'm not gonna call them all fucking number mechanic, because, like... Or like, all Limit Cut, because, like, they're not, right? Are you rating P11 last as a fight itself, or as its job as a third fight? Honestly, both. I just think it was a disappointing fight. You know, the positive of these number mechanics is that they're quite often a body check, which adds difficulty. The negative is that there's only so creative you can get with them, and it just all boils down to the same thing. No, I mean, that's the thing, like, it's just mundane. Like, it's just boring. It's just not that interesting. I mean, eventually, they're all gonna become not interesting. My opinion of these fights is gonna deteriorate over time. Probably. But having looked through all the clear VODs, gone through kind of our thought processes, sort of how long they took, how I felt about some of the mechanics. Put your hair in a ponytail? Maybe. PF will be molding content. I'm going to mold in PF. But I don't think I'm gonna mold yet, because it's like week 1 still, and it's still hard. I'd need my tier list to see this. I don't know if I can find it anywhere. Hang on. Maybe I can. Rate them again at the end? Maybe, yeah. Ooh, where was I typing, dude? Okay, here I have my tier list here. My old tier list. I don't have the images to add to them, obviously. But like, I think I would put P10 probably in a high A. Probably a high A. P12, P1, a low A or mid A. P12, P2, probably either low A or high B. P9 probably is low B or C. And P11, honestly, like, we're heading towards D tier. Low C at best. Wait, where is Final Omega here? Where is Final Omega? Or wait, did we just, I think, oh, we just they were just one fight, right, yeah. Yeah, never mind. Yeah, no, it's because we rated them as like one fight, because they weren't separated for some reason. Whatever. But yeah. Did I like E11S? It was alright to prog, but re-clearing it was boring as fuck. So yeah, I'm just gonna get rid of that. Decent tier. I'm trying to think if there's anything I forgot to say, because I was doing a lot of thinking yesterday. I was gonna make some notes, but I didn't. With third fights, they just can't, like, they can't transition in difficulty well enough. Like, I'm sure it's not easy to create fights that where the first two are meant to be more accessible. To like fights that are meant to be harder and for people more committed to like clearing Savage. But just every time, they're just always less creative. They always feel kind of slow. Their difficulty was only ever just like in a slightly tighter DPS check. But this just doesn't even have that. Why is P3S so low? I don't like the ad phase. I don't like ad phases that are just separated from everything else. I don't like the beginning of the fight. This, like, P11 has the same problem. It's just really slow at the start. And overall, like, yeah, the visual problem is annoying. But, like, P3S mechanically isn't bad. I just don't like the fight. I just didn't have fun doing it. Like, I've always said it's hard for me to describe. I just didn't have fun with it. As a third turn, it did better. But, yeah. Oh, ad phase FF logs thing. I don't know why FF logs bothers. I don't know why we cater to crybabies that want to cry about pad and shit. Like, just fucking leave it, man. Your log is not that important. No one cares about your oranges week 1, and they don't care about them later either. They're fun to go for, I agree. And having a nice log is a fuzzy feeling. But the reality is it means absolutely nothing. If you're playing your job properly and you're playing for the group and playing for the clear, that is as much as the log needs to say. Because I'm healer main, but I find reclears so disgustingly boring. That is probably because healing in this game is very sort of spreadsheetable, right? It's not very reactive. So once you're clean on reclears, you are doing the exact same thing every pull. That's probably why you find it boring. It's reactive in PF. In PF it should, like, technically be more fun. Absolutely nothing we want is a bit concerning. Yeah, but they're historicals, man. Like, this is why historicals are just a massive mistake. I don't understand like why we're not having live updating passes on our front pages. Like why are we in a situation still where historicals are always default? So if you got like a rank 1 like in your first clear by being like gear fed or something, like it's now a 100 forever. Even though it will become like a fucking blue. Like it's so weird. There was once a vote on FF logs to remove this or change it. But that vote was just set up to fail. It was keep historicals or 4 other options. And those 4 other options, like one of those had to have more votes than just keeping historicals. So of course historicals won. Like it was so dumb. It was just set up to fail. Like the real answer is just to not care, but you know, you just get all those fucking idiots in PF or like, you know, gloating in discords that just think they're like God or something. I don't know, man. Logs are fun to go for, but only like in a scenario where the whole group is doing that. Splits to pass week 1 and now they haven't had time to clear P12. Did they actually do splits to pass, or did they do splits because they thought P12 would be hard DPS-wise? It's my first year I'm actually trying to raid, and I've had a lot of fun. Good. They are pass monkeys. Jesus Christ. Being a pass monkey in week 1. Oh, the cringe, bro. Anyway, I think that's all I gotta say about the tier, man. If there's anything I've missed, let me know. But, like, now I want to hear your opinions, chat. Do you have any big takes about the tier? I've spent 2 hours rattling off my thoughts. I'll upload it to YouTube as well if you missed it, don't worry. Or you can just watch the VOD back. I have some big takes about PF and none of them are nice. Look, PF, again, it's week 1, man. Like, PF is gonna be... Well, it's horrendous no matter what, but it's just a roulette that you run. If you choose to PF and not get a static, if you're able to get a static, like, this can happen. I like Prog this tier because I call people to raid with. The people you raid with are a huge part of having fun, yes. That is true. Use merger in UAV mech, you stay full size. Very cool. I guess we'll find out in PF who's using it. Now we do UCOB? No. I'm not interested in doing ultimates right now. My energy is still like a bit low, so like I'm gonna take tomorrow off as well. But come Tuesday, I'll be back in full swing, and we'll be trying to get some clears on ults, for sure. I'm just saying that right now, just because I want just to take a bit of a break before going back into full swing streaming or playing. Nah, man. Isn't that like technically cheating at that point? Does that cross the line into cheating? I don't know. I actually think that kind of makes it harder. Because it's harder to see if you're safe. That makes the spread bigger? No. It would not affect the mechanics of the game. It's literally, yeah, it's literally just cosmetic. Like, I don't know, like, it depends. Because if you zoom in, it makes it easier to see anyway. I'm not sure. Maybe P12, can you justify? I just find P10 really creative and fun to play. Like these two are close. Like, it is close. I think, maybe I'm suffering a bit of burnout from Door Boss because, like, we had 170 pulls on it. So I'm a bit tired of it. But, like it is close. Like, they're both very good fights. I think P10 is going to age better. Because P12, P1, like, you're going to skip super chains. One, maybe both. Maybe both. With enough gear and optimization. Like, it's going to be very fucking low. Serious Sam Egypt background music got old real fast. Yeah, the music for the last boss took took its toll on me, cause it's not that good. It's just taken from the Alliance raid. I'm pretty sure. Schizo for putting P10 as best fight. I mean, you don't have to agree with me, man. I would ask chat for their rankings, but like a lot of people are still progging, so kind of disingenuous to ask. Oh right, yeah, the loot. Yo, that is a point. Good point. I find that really fucking stupid. However, there is a pro as well. There's no RNG anymore. The loot is a pro and a con. I like that they remove the RNG of what drops. Like, that was a surprise to everyone, and they didn't even mention it, did they? But the other problem is, like, why is there a chest drop only on third turn? That's weird. It's not particularly bad this tier, because very few people actually need the raid chest. But in future tiers, in the next expansion, I don't like that. P11 is explosive after the slow start, but its mechanics don't really change. Like, they do sort of, you know, combine it together, but that, to me, feels more like an extreme than anything else. Not to say that it's extreme difficulty. I think it's still savage, but I don't think it was... I don't think they did nearly enough. But that was kind of obvious from the normal, because the normal just had so little going on. Rated E11. I think it's a bit... I don't know if it's better than E11. Maybe. I think the other problem is how fucking long it is. Like, look, like once again, like let's go back to my E11 POV. Right, where is it? Like, is it this point?
Yeah, I think it's there.
It's fine, it's fine.
It's a circle running thing.
Like, I think it's this whole like 2-minute period
You have an extra thing.
where the boss just doesn't do almost anything. Like, we have this mechanic.
Oh, let me go, let me go.
Christ, And like from this point, he doesn't do anything for the next like minute or more. It's just these mechanics again, these basic ass mechanics that pad out the time. They could have removed this bit entirely, made the fight like a minute or two shorter, and it would have felt better. All of your 2-minute windows are free as fuck. Like, why did the fight's like 11 minutes 20? It does not need to be that long. It can be that long if you replaced all of this with another big mechanic. That would have made it feel like a big... Like, you could put Letter of the Law here, and then have an even bigger mechanic after that. That would fix it. But, like, this is just like, what is this? This entire 2-minute period is just nothing. Nothing happens. Like, yeah, it's satisfying to wail on and lower a boss's HP, sure. But just... We're way ahead on this, so just play it safe.
Try like...
It's like this fight is just missing something. And then you finally get Letter of the Law. Do you know what? Now I look at it, this boss is at 20% when it casts on a clean run. I'm not sure if you will do this whole mechanic anymore. I mean, it'll probably cast lock, so you probably have to do it, but I'm not so sure now, honestly. This side?
Back here.
This side. How much of a fight does gear usually remove?
Fuck the uptime, I'm just gonna stand on the same time.
On like a third turn. Is it 20%? Maybe not. Look for your tower. Look for your tower.
Walk into the shadow.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like, you know, this mechanic feels good to do, but it's just... P9S is long existent. Yeah, but
Mega,
it's a first turn. It's supposed to be like that.
it's a big one.
It is a bit boring. Like, it's just a bunch of rudimentary mechanics just shoved together as usual. Extreme style, but like... It's at least a first floor. Move 2 cycles, yeah. I don't know, man. Just something is missing from this fight. Again, I think if they removed Letter of the Law to that empty space and then put another big mechanic after, like something more creative, I think that would have been good. That would have been nice. Like, this, you know, this is a first turn. It can get away with this.
Yeah.
All the difficulty of this fight is basically in 11 strike. Don't know, man. Like, this got very boring to do. Like, it is a weird feeling knowing that you're doing all this just to wipe at limit cut. Bro, I'm getting so tired of saying limit cut, dude. How many times have I said this?
Crazy.
But this is gonna be a problem in PF. But it's enough of an iteration, like, that I would call it a savage fight at least.
What's up, gamers and lamers, coomers and doomers? It's me, it's holy moly. How are you,
Yeah, I
sir?
mean, like, again,
How
you're
are
just
you, chat?
you're just running a roulette, you know. In PF, you are running a roulette. Sometimes you will get lucky and have some gamers that actually want to clear the fight and did their homework. And sometimes you'll get people that just have no fucking idea what they're doing. And are just probably, like, lying about their prog or some shit. Like, this is how it's gonna be in Savage. Like, get used to it. If it's pissing you off too much, don't do it. Like, this tier is around for a long time. You know, I get that's a bit of a non-answer. But, like, getting this annoyed at PF week 1, like, is not good for you. Because there's no guarantee it's gonna get better. It should, technically, because more resources and more guides are gonna be out. PF's gonna settle on strats and things eventually. So, you know, that alone should be an improvement. But you never know when you're just paired up with random people all the time. I mean, PF does settle on strats eventually. Depending on the DC, they might differ. But yeah. What is PF? Party Finder. Pug grouping. I want to do this strat in PF. I like how strat. What even does JP strat do? I don't know. What's the difference? Northeast twice and southwest twice. Oh. And that sounds a little bit tight because at some point you're really close to them, no? I don't think tight is good for PF. Which is why I really hope people don't start doing rescue strat in PF for P12. I'm going to be very disappointed if I see that happening. Has anyone got a video of JP strat? I want to see it. Like, you can start linking me videos of like PF strats now if you want, chat. Like, I'm not gonna do PF today probably. This stream's probably gonna be like shortish. I just wanted to like get on, say hello to you guys again, talk about Savage, and I'll be back properly like on Tuesday or something. With like PFing on my ults and stuff. I'm still a bit like fucking tired and shit, so. Alright, let me look at this. JP brain, like, okay, like. Chat, you know why people are doing doing this strat, right? Like, you know why? It's because people are calling it fucking brain dead. So everyone's like, oh yeah, I don't have to think. Yes! Only to realize you have to think. Wow, that's crazy. Who would have thought? By the way, just quickly, Holy, thank you for the 37, man. I'm good, thank you. Hope you are too. Thank you for the resub. Welcome back. Torbjorn, thank you for 4 hours. Sorry, 4 months. Appreciate it, man. Thank you. And Nubal, thank you for 8 months. Sorry. Oh, my shoulder. Thank you for the resubs, guys. Sorry, I was just like talking and stuff. Real Peps, thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. This guy is called Subbies, and he's a dancing Hrothgar. This man takes it in the ass on a regular basis, and he loves it.
One is southeast.
Right, so wait, we start here. Wait, why are we starting here?
What?
Let's go.
Not over yet.
Let's go.
Go, go, go. Nice. Not even close.
One is southeast.
Wait, one is southeast, you said. Over there. So you put the deformation there, take tower.
What?
Let's go.
Okay. I don't know if I need an explanation. I see what's going on here.
Go, go, go.
Yeah, like I get it.
Not even close.
Hmm. And that, like, compare that to us, where we basically did Oppo strat, right? Apparently. Yeah, I mean, I think running around in a circle is right too. It's more moving parts, but I think this is fine.
8 out.
I think this is fine because this is like all going the same way. Parts, but it's downtime. Well, yeah, I mean, look, I mean, I think this is okay. Like, I don't think this is particularly bad. I see why people are stands for both sides. I mean, running around in a circle is brain dead. It is. How many people are popping sprint in the JP video? I mean, I do that for comfort. I don't do that because it makes the mechanic easier. I do it so I know I'm in the right place.
Southeast.
I mean, like, I don't think pressing sprint is bad. Like, I think this strat's fine. It's not as tight as I thought.
Let's go.
Because everyone else is just standing in the middle.
Go, go, go. Nice.
This is rescue, though. You literally say rescue. Huh? What do you mean? The right one? Oh, I see. I mean, it's a little bit tight, but winnable, I guess. Number 6, that's the whole ass super fast for JP strat. Let me look at it again. Maybe I missed something.
One is southeast.
Let's watch number 6.
What?
Let's go.
Not really.
Let's go.
Like,
Go.
chat, like, pressing sprint doesn't mean that, like, a mechanic is tight. Like, where else are you gonna fucking use it? I don't know. On closer inspection, I think this is fine. I still don't like that people start calling shit brain dead because, like, it's just not really true. But I think, like, both of these strats are fine. I just think PF needs to... I mean, you know, I'll do it myself next week, right? I'll be taking my ults into PF next week. So, you know, I'll do it myself. So I'll be able to give a better opinion. But, like, comparing this to what we did, which I'm told is Oppo. We inadvertently just created basically the same thing. I think they're both fine. Is this that tweet? Yes. Uptime cross lines of brain dead. I think the term is used too loosely. I mean, it is, yeah. I mean, especially JP brain dead. Like, those are always used together. The same thing happened with, like, E11S. With the thingy movement. I can't remember what the mechanic was called, but yeah. I don't know. I'll have to do this in PF to, like, really know. But I do think it's better that you either learn both or PF just settles on one. But regardless, chat, like, you can just join PFs of the one you prefer, right? This was like the Far War thing. I always molded about Far War, but then I just didn't join those PFs. Same goes for Spriggan versus Color Pair Snakes. Be mad about it, but just don't do it. What strat are people doing for the turrets in Pandemonium? P10. Chat. Two, 1. Okay, so same as what we did. Nice. What priority is it? MRHT. Okay. Healer adjust, I guess. I mean, bro, like, it's Savage PF. They have to find a way that works. If it works, then it works. Like, PF strats are quite often not ideal for healers, but that doesn't mean it's bad for PF, necessarily. You just wouldn't, like, pass with it. So in my mind, a bad strat for PF is one that is unsafe. And has too many risk factors. I'm not really too bothered about healing requirements and things like that. Unless it's that detrimental for later in the fight. And it honestly, we did 2-2-2-1 and it wasn't. Okay, I think maybe healers had to spam a bit, but like, if it works for PF, it works for PF. Also, is the damage even affected if you're beyond 2 people? It is? Okay. You know, like, I know it's like a wild charge style thing, but I wasn't sure if damage was mitigated further. Towers, so we need to be bought next and find a safe spot there. That's pretty smart. Yeah, there are more safe spots than you think here. That is true. Like during Prague, we knew where one would like semi-consistently be, so we went to that one. Oversight? Nah. It's a second turn. Knockback does not follow beam meters away from center of turret. That I would have guessed anyway. Honestly. But we did fire like ranged and tanks at the last one, then ranged would move out the way. So maybe we didn't pick up on that. Is that OT's gonna spread west after turret cable? Oh, interesting.
Alright, let's go.
Interesting. I've also seen like Kindred Dark and Light being mentioned a lot. Has anyone got a video for that one? Oh, I see. I mean, I'm sure it will be figured out what is best, you know. In due time. Does anyone have a video of Kindred Dark and Light or whatever the fuck? No vid but a raid plan, okay. Jury, True North, Group 1. Red, purple. Okay. Supports, wait, supports rotate. Oh. We always did DPS rotate. Is this how people do P11? Healer pair, right? Man, this is like... Everything I'm seeing so far for P11 is like... It's just like tiny changes from what I do. For example, our groups we did would be A to 3 and C to 1. Rather than A to 4 and 2 to C. They have supports rotate instead of DPS rotate. And they have healer and range go right instead of left. All of this is like small changes, but like complete opposite to what I did. Man. My brain. I'm gonna fucking crash. Alright, brother, calm down, man. It's okay. Relax. Shadow Messenger. Wait, why do they not just do it in groups? Why are they doing it in pairs? Oh, I see, okay. Oh, they do it in groups, right, okay, that's the split for pairs, okay. Wait, why is ranged suddenly with tank here? What? Why are we randomly changing shit? Okay. Yeah, this makes sense. Keep you on your toes. Like, more like just to fucking cause problems in PF, then go to your nearest Discord and complain that PF is bad or the fight is bad. Like, PF doesn't help themselves, man. Prog strats and PF? I mean, at least with prog strats? Wait. Is this like just one-to-one kindred strats? Like, was this their prog strats? Because even we kept it... Actually, no. Do you know what? That's not true. Even we didn't keep it consistent. I rotated to tank, and then... But then for these, I was with healer. Hello, Ken, by the way. What's up, man? But yeah, like, that's a bad idea. I think PF should always keep their pairs consistent. Like, why wouldn't you? Like, this just seems senseless to me. Like, why are we suddenly doing this? That's just gonna cause confusion. There's a prog strat, yeah, but PF latched onto it because they're stupid. Save spot looking in G on left, G2 right, yeah, okay, makes sense. Alright. Dark and light. The other one PF is doing? What other one? Tank long on A. Tank short out behind D. Healer long C. Why would you not just do it full diagonal though? Like this you're already risking it being too close. Like, it's not very forgiving. Like, why would you not just cross them? Dark, long, support, rotate clockwise. Shorts, move out to avoid donuts. Ooh, downtime, my favorite. Not that it matters, really. Like we've just spoken about, like, DPS checks. But it seems a little bit silly to me when you can just go in. PF, please. Divisive tank bait, please be north, suck behind D. There are ones where tank starts northeast, heals start northwest, DPS adjust tethers. I don't have a raid plan though. Oh, I see. Yeah, there seems to be like lots of different little ways to do this. Is this what EU is doing? Someone's linked to Toolbox as well. Is this what EU is doing? Okay. Yeah. Let's check PF. What's the URL? Wait. Kindred strat, but it's a different... They've said it's Kindred strat, but it's a different raid plan link. What is happening, man? PF, no! Stop it! Wait. Wait. Wait, this is Griff P11S. He's in chat sometimes.
Hamina bazoo.
No, I'm talking. Like, wait. Okay. Supports rotate again. Yeah. Okay. Based on colors. Wait, what did the other one do? Okay, yeah, I mean, it's the same thing, right? Okay, this, like, the only difference so far is that this one keeps the fucking pairs consistent. Like, PF, like, you can't be doing this, man. Tank long on A. Tank short on D. It's the same strat! Chaos PF's doing it differently again? Okay, Dark Current. Yeah. Tank tether go to opposite. Rotate to safe spot. Okay. P11 adapted? What the fuck? Wait, I wanted to look at this. So, like, there is literally one difference between these two raid plans. One! Why are we using different raid plans? Calling it the same strat with one PF, what the fuck are you doing? Uptime, dark and light. I assume that's where you put them in instead of out? Are there macros as well, or is it are we just moving to raid plans permanently now? Like, I'm seeing fucking... There's a third one! There's a third fucking raid! Wait, no, it's a YouTube link. Never mind. I'm blind. Don't worry about it. Oh god, I'm becoming a fucking tab griefer. Oh, that's P10. I don't want to see that. Alright, what the fuck is that? No! Wait. Okay, never mind. Man, bro, I thought they were starting like that. I was like, oh my fucking god. Never mind. Okay. Wait. How is this uptime though? What? The dark protein? Oh, I see. But you can literally just go into the boss. Wait, oh, no, with the light one, you can just go into the boss. Okay, whatever. Alright, this is the chaos one. Okay, this is the same. EF is doomed. They are absolutely doomed. When there's like 4 different raid plans for one fight that changes like one thing. Like, it's so weird to me how people like... Do people just want like credit or something? For their sick fucking raid plan that moves 2 people? Like, this is the other problem people have. Is people calling it a strat and then not doing the strat. We had this problem with like Hector's Golbez strat. People were calling it Hector and then not doing Hector. We need LPDU for Savage for Light. Oh god. Honestly, you're not wrong. Maybe I should bring that up. Like, PF, you need help, man. Like, this is not it. This doesn't even change anything. And what's adapted about it? Like, the easiest fight in the tier. And people are making a complete fucking mess of it. Wait. Wait. Now this is Is that's the same change as the other replan? What is? Okay. It's not even like the changes are bad. It's just like when you have this many raid plans, like you're just confusing people. I prefer the tank AoE in mid for it should be in mid, yeah. That's what we did. We put ours in mid. Then you just run mid and then go to your tower. Yeah. Like, putting it on a tower spot there. Like, I get it, but like... Do you know how much running that is? Well, I mean, I guess they just go here instead, right? I guess it's not that much more. I mean, I guess it's safer, kinda, but you know how wide the thing is. What the fuck is this? Step 75. Wait, this is the entirety of fucking P10S. In one fucking raid plan. Oh my god. in one toolbox. It's like the fights are too complicated for macros now. So we have to use these. EU is evolving, man. Like, EU is actually just... Man, I do not miss this guy from Toy Story. Like, it was easily the scariest bit. Are they doing the same shit on Ether, Ken? In PF with like all these different raid plans? They are. Boy oh boy. I'm glad I'm like taking tomorrow off probably. Like I might stream tomorrow, maybe. I might. Maybe I probably should actually. Because I want to get used to PF strats before trying to go for clears on my ults. Yeah, I might stream tomorrow. Maybe. We'll see. Because like I don't want to go in like... Because I'm going to have to like ask people to let me into 2 chests. Wait, 2 chests. 1 chest. Full 1 chest. What do we call it? Like 1 chest and half empty chest now? Like what do we call it? Big chest. Wait, there's a toolbox. There's a fucking thing just for this? Whoa. Why is this loading so slowly? I mean, this is the same thing. Oh wait, no it's not, never mind. Yeah, they're doing it this way, okay. I prefer this. But that's because I did it in static. We just started putting it mid already. Okay. Wait. So in this one, they're going left. Oh my god, man. Okay. Oh, wait, is this a PF United on this, or? No one can decide anything? My fucking god, man. I'm gonna get kicked from so many PFs, dude. Good thing I won't be on my main. No? Oh my fucking god, man. Well then why am I even looking at it? What's the point? One chest. Like, man, I'm gonna see 1 chest and get really fucking confused. Man, bro, there's different raid plans for P10. There's 3 different raid plans for P10. PF, stop! Fucking god, man. I mean, it should settle, yes, but like this is just so unhelpful. Because the problem is, like, everyone's gonna have done something slightly different in their clear parties, and then they're gonna go into like re-clears next week, having all done something slightly different. And instead of like being able to adjust to whatever the fucking party leader is like wants to do, People are just gonna get kicked because EU is really impatient. Like, fucking Christ, man. Oh! One of them on slide 57, the supports rotate clockwise instead of counterclockwise. It's very important. Fuck. Oh, man. I'm sure it will work out, but you can't be doing this. Like, do I really want to look through all 3 of these raid plans to see what's different? Yen-san, thank you for the prime. Appreciate it. Thank you. Welcome. Oh, fuck. What? Okay. Wait, hang on. 93 high ends. Holy. I'm actually using this feature for the first time ever. Right. Copy. Oh my god, man. What is this, bro? I can close my POVs now at least. And then there's like this, like there's legit 3, bro. Like what is the, alright. It's been so long since I listened to funk, dude. Holy shit. Tower pillar positioning. Okay, this is what I did in static. Single platform spread. Wait, why? Easier for healers. You have no space if you all go to one platform. Single platform because PF doesn't want to clear. Bro, 100%, man. Like, I fucking hate that. I don't like that at all. Alright, melee, ranged, healer, tank. Okay. Spread after turret. Partners after turret. Ray left for spread. Stack. Harrowing Hell sub. Yeah, that's what we did. Okay. Alright, that's raid plan 1. Keep that in mind. Yeah, bro, like, single platform was like the scariest shit ever. Like, why would you want to do that? Like, what if someone is late? You think, like, fucking R2 is going to adjust for little Timmy M2, like, being late because he was casting his fucking Midare? Like, whatever. Skill issue? Right, but it's mitigated by having using 2 platforms. Close as possible to in-game size. Go 3 peeps on your side. First 3 can help. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Wait. Wait, this doesn't even tell you the towers. Wait, yeah, it does. Okay, never mind. Okay, this is the same. Alright. Okay, it's good to know. Right. Alright, man. Nah! Why? This is the same raid plan, by the way. Right? Okay, this just skips this entirely. That's good. Like, this one doesn't even have this mechanic. Okay, this is the same thing. Okay, right. This one has more detail. I like this one more. I'm gonna join parties so far with the VD raid plan. That's what I'm calling it. The VD strat. Okay, very nice. I'll only like this one more because it explains more mechanics. But it's still single platform, so it's still really shit. Alright, next one. Wait. Wait. Okay. Okay, never mind. I'm using the fish G strat. I'm using this one. Finally. XPRU2. That's like, sounds like the next fucking like XCOM game or something. Thank God. Okay, like this is all the same. Yeah. Oh yeah, fuck it. I'm gonna fuck it. I'll stream tomorrow. And we'll do some it's like I'm literally just gonna be molding at PF strats all day. Okay, thank God. Like this is the most sensible raid plan out of the 3 different ones I've seen. But wait! There's more! Ah, fuck, it's gone. There's a fucking 4th one. There's a 5th one, bro! Why are there 5 raid plans for one fucking fight? What are you doing? PF! Oh. I'm mad. I'm tweeting because I'm mad. I'm actually so angry right now. I'm fucking smudging, dude. What is this? Yeah, I've seen this one already. Apparently it's like old or something. Okay, like all of this is the same. I've already closed it. I've already closed it. What the fuck? Perfect. Finally. It's crazy. One platform makes healing it easier. You can't heal dead people when they overlap, Rick. I'm sorry. Man, PF needs an intervention, man. Look, I understand that, like, there's gonna be different strats out there to start with. But, like, when we have, like, 5 different raid plans with, like, minor differences for one fight, like, nobody's gonna agree on everything. On anything, sorry. I just wish people would stick to one. Like, just force one. You can't. I know you can't control PF. I know. But Abyssos wasn't like this. I just don't understand why people are making different raid plans. Tier is killed. Time to watch Rant VOD. Good luck. Congrats on your kill. Because, like, at this point, I don't even think we're gonna have macros. Like, it's just gonna be raid plan central, which isn't necessarily bad. But, like, when you have minor differences in each one, nobody is gonna be on the same page, like, ever. Like, these don't even include a fucking, like, raid plan. The issues seem to be... Bro, that's a new raid plan. That's a new one. That's a fucking new one! I can't click it. Thing is, some of them are just the same. But it's like, then why are they a different raid plan? I think LPDU needs to get involved, man. Except that would be really bad. Can you imagine, like, everyone from PF cramming into LPDU for Savage? Oh god. Maybe that's not such a good idea. INS bait strat. What was this shit about center ice that I kept hearing about in Levin Strike? Bruh. That sounds fucked. That sounds like a great meme. I want to see that. Smaller than the arena, so people on the sides are pre-positioned for everything. Nah, I can't see it working unless you're like right on the edge, and even that just seems way too tight. What is this? Oh. Bro. 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 Bro, there's no way. You cannot do this. Nah. That's kind of based. There's no way this works, right? There's no fucking way. Oh, so it's some guy that just trolled everyone. That's beautiful. If you are in chat, I gift you a sub. Literally just one guide PF. I love it. Man, I love it, dude. Alright, so yeah, PF has a problem right now. Yo, this is very true. Oh man. Oh god. I mean, it's on my tweet, but yeah. Oh wait, no, yeah, it's a reply to my tweet. Man, fuck's sake, like, it's gotta stop, man. Like, I'm okay with, like, different strats being around. That happens every tier, right? That's not an issue. The problem is having, like, 5 or 6 raid plans that will have minor differences that are still the same fucking strat. But everyone's gonna be doing it differently. That's a problem. Because you're gonna tell people kindred strat, and they're gonna be like, okay, I saw that on this raid plan. You know, insert random assortment of letters and numbers here. But then they're gonna do it differently to other people in the group that saw the same strat and a different raid plan, but it's slightly different. But in essence, still the same strat. Like, oh my god. I can't wait, man. I will do some digging today, and we'll go live tomorrow with some alt PF. Like, this is very problematic. Whereas, like, the 12 parties aren't even, like, they don't even have raid plans. Do they have a macro? Chat, do people use macros in any PF fights right now? In any PF, sorry. Is it literally all raid plan? Has EU just evolved into this sludge of raid plan mess? Day 1 had how did day 1 have macro? What the fuck? Like, just look at this. Like, 3 different fucking raid plans for... Man, do you know what? Like, maybe I was wrong. Like, maybe Hector is the way forward. Because then at least everyone is looking at one fucking video. No matter how stupid the strat is. Maybe he's actually the genius we needed. I mean, like, that's a decent macro. Yeah, like, that works. That's what you really need. Oh my god. There's another one. Ay. Alright, let me look at this, right? Oppo, JP, Oppo, JP, Oppo. Oh god. JP, Oppo, JP. Okay. JP is more popular. Just about. What is this fucking emote? His ass. I mean, it looks fine to me. Like, we came up with what was essentially Oppo. But JP is like, okay. I mean, I prefer Oppo, but I haven't done JP. I've just seen a video and, you know, it looks doable. My problem with people moaning about JP is that their reasoning for it being bad is that they have to press sprint. And, you know, when you're stood there fucking playing with your cock and you have nothing else to do, is that really a problem? They don't even have to sprint. There you go. LC is downtime. Yeah, I mean, this is what I mean. Like, I think it's probably going to be beneficial to just learn both. Because at least they are 2 different strats. And not this raid plan issue where it's the same strat, but everyone's moving differently. Like, in different pairs and shit. You know what I mean? Or like just minor changes and then calling it the same strat. No, we'll have to see, chat. We'll have to see. I have every intention of going into PF tomorrow or Tuesday at the latest. I should probably do it tomorrow because I want to like get some practice before like going into PF. But yeah.